Good afternoon. Welcome to the Stoughton Redevelopment Authority meeting for Wednesday, April 10th, 6 p.m. at 7 Pearl Street. You can join Google Meets. I don't give up. No. Okay. In accordance with Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2023, it extends the Governor's March 12, 2023 order suspending certain provisions of the Open Meeting Law, General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 20, until March 31, 2025. This meeting will be conducted both in person and virtually via Google Meets. Recording the meeting transcript or other comprehensive record of the proceeding will be posted on the town's website and SMAC. Times are approximate and items may be taken out of order at the chair's discretion. So let's start the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. Rise if you can. We have to open the meeting. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, I guess I was supposed to open the meeting before the Pledge of Allegiance, so we're open the meeting. So I am Donna, I am the Vice Chair. Donna is going to open up nominations for Chairman. We are reorganizing tonight. So with that being said, Donna, chair's yours.
Okay, I am opening the floor for people to put their names in that are interested in taking on the role of chair of the SRA.
Call for nominations.
Either way,
Yeah.
either way discussion.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Reggie, go ahead.
I was going to nominate Bob Desmond for chairmanship.
Bob, would you like to be chairman?
No, thank you. Thank you, Reggie. I appreciate that, but.
One down.
If I can step it up, nominate Roberta Harbach for our chair.
And I'll second that.
Second.
Third. Okay. Thank you. I will accept the nomination. Thank you. Okay, so we have vice chair, we have treasurer, and we also have the community preservation. So I'm putting it out there because I don't know what people want to do, and I don't want somebody to be put on the spot to do something that they don't want to do. So I'm going to start with you, Reggie. What position would you like to do this year? Do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, I'm a numbers person, so I don't mind dealing with the numbers.
Okay. Anybody else? So I'm thinking that means you want to be the treasurer.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes. I'm sorry.
Somebody, can I nominate Reggie for treasurer?
Sure.
I will nominate Reggie Nunley for the treasurer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Then we also have community preservation or vice chair. Which one does anybody want to take first?
I'd be interested in, again, just throwing it out there, I'd be interested in the CPC appointment.
Does that work with you guys? You okay with that?
I'm fine with it. You need a motion?
Yes, please.
That was Bob, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I nominate Bob to be the CPC representative for the Stoughton Redevelopment Authority.
All in favor?
Aye.
Second, I don't even know if you have to do that. But all right, vice chair. A short straw
Yeah,
here.
exactly.
Are you willing to?
Sure.
Okay. All right. So this is the only thing. When I am not here, I do go away. I don't want to run a meeting through Zoom. I don't mind being on Zoom, but you'd have to run the meeting. Somebody should be sitting here to run the meeting instead of on the TV screen. Do you
Sure.
agree with me?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'll make a motion to, for Mr. Bucky as vice chair.
All in favor? Aye.
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 Aye. Okay. All right, we got that done. All right. Anybody from the public have a comment to make? See, nobody wants to make a comment. Any chairman have a comment? I'll start with you, Reggie, because you're virtual. Do you have any comments?
I do have a comment, but I think I can save it for the, underneath of the financial stuff.
Okay. Bob, any for you?
I guess I've just, 2 points, again, as we begin a new session, again, I'd like to, say thank you to, former chairman, Mr. Zamanian for his work, within the last 5 years. And with that as well, and a welcome to Mr. Buckley on the redevelopment authority as well. So, thank you.
Do you have anything to say? You want to say a little bit about yourself, Mr. Buckley?
A little bit about myself. I'm a lifelong resident of Stoughton. I work for the town of Arlington. I work in their legal department up there. I've been up there for the past close to 15 years. That's about it on my resume as far as that's concerned. So just looking forward to getting busy.
Sounds good. And I don't have any comments. Do you have any comments, Donna?
It's not important, not a major concern, but we do have several boxes of files that we inherited from the town hall. And normally in May, the Council on Aging has a shredding day.
They do.
A lot of those files are from the 1970s, and several of them are invoices pertaining to the Patriot Ledger. There were even things in there such as the Open Meeting Law of 1975. So there's several things in there that I know that we could purge from our files. Just wanted to put that on everyone's radar.
Yeah, so what did you do last year? When we had did you go up there personally with these?
I went up there with the files, yes.
Yeah, I forget what the date is.
I don't know offhand, but I think I'd have to have some help in determining what files the SRA would want to keep.
Okay. By law, do we have to have a certain,
Retention schedule, that's what it is.
you know what that is?
It's usually 7 years, but it's 7 years from the last dealing with the documents itself. I'm not sure about redevelopment. Some of them are permanent.
We do have a retention schedule for the SRA.
You do. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a mix. Some of them can be permanent depending on what you have. Plans sometimes depending on if they're on record somewhere else, don't have to be kept. They're usually stuff like that that's kept for this lifetime.
Okay.
I would recommend anything that has to do with, Page Street.
Yes.
We might want to hold on to.
Yeah, and make copies.
Okay, so do we need to make a motion for Donna to take the appropriate
Well,
motion?
I think she's looking for some assistance as well,
Okay.
as far as what can go and what can't go.
And where are these boxes now?
They're behind the door there.
Okay,
I can pull out the retention schedule. But again, the files that are there, a lot of them are invoices pertaining
Okay.
to services from the 1970s.
yeah, because I don't know if our next meeting is before or after this event in May. So
Yeah,
is it gonna be timely to go through that? To know, yay or nay it?
it will. There's about 10 boxes.
Okay,
Are they all in order as to subject and everything? So you pretty much know one box would be full of all invoices that were from the 70s?
I've only gone through them and done a superficial look, but they are from town hall. They were in a file cabinet. They only found out about them recently. They were locked, and they're from the 60s and 70s.
Okay. I can give you a hand if you want, something like that to get it done, because it doesn't sound like it's gonna be much. You just gotta get permission. Just, all it is log it and send it into the state, to the secretary's office. They'll get permission to shred.
Right.
To destroy, however we're gonna destroy.
beautiful, great. Getting right off,
That's it.
yeah. Okay, all right, anything else on the, besides the shredding, Donna? Okay, the consent agenda, did anybody look at your meeting previous minutes? The paid bills, the unpaid bills, and the correspondence? Does anybody have any questions on any of that? Reggie, did you have anything?
No, gone through all of last year's financial statements from the bank. I was able to catch up with the portfolio people, Bartholomew, and I was able to, somewhat create or recreate something for 24 Page Street. But I have a recommendation around that. So when it's time for me to make that report on behalf of Bob, I'll make that more clear.
Okay, great. So did anybody have any questions on any of the consent agenda items? Okay, does somebody want to make a motion?
I would accept the
Okay,
consent agenda.
okay, I guess we have to do a roll call. I'm new at being the chairman, so I guess since Reggie is here, we'll do a roll call. Reggie, did you hear Peter say he wanted to accept?
I didn't hear it real clear.
Oh, I'm sorry, Reggie. I make a motion to accept the consent agenda.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, I second.
Okay. All those in favor, Reggie?
I think you said yes.
Not what-
Reggie, could you confirm whether
I'm confirming yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Bob,
Yes.
Peter?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Okay, so the next thing up is, meeting with the select board because of the vacant position. We still have a 3-year term, available. So we will be writing to the select board so we can have a joint meeting with them. And I think we can just get a quick letter on. I do not know who the chairman is. They're probably working on that as we speak across the street. And if you guys will allow me, I will just send a letter to the select chair when I find out who it is tomorrow to have a joint meeting to pick a candidate for a 3-year term. Does that work for you guys?
Yep, absolutely.
Yep, works for me.
Okay, do we need to take it? We don't need to take a motion on. All right, item 7, 24 Perry Street, renovations, parking, and a tenant will agreement. So, we have 3, we decided on 2,
Right.
estimates or proposals. And tonight we really should decide on who will be getting this job. You know, to do the work, to do the doors, the garages, leveling the inside of the building. So does anybody have any discussion or anybody want to make a motion of who they would like to choose to do this work?
Did you get an updated? Okay, so I would like to make a motion that we approve Bayshant Builders to do the renovation work.
Okay, do you think that we should put an up to amount? The only reason why I'm asking because I called him about the padlock also. It may be I think we should give a little cushion on the price. We're not gonna say how much we're paying this person.
Like a contingency as far as,
Yeah, because if we vote on him for X amount of dollars.
Yeah.
And now we want to put this pin pad remote control to enter and it costs say an extra $100. I don't want them not to do it.
correct.
Oh, yeah.
I suggested to both, the 2 people that we put like a pin pad access instead of a regular locking key.
Yeah.
So we don't have to give out a million different keys, and if somebody isn't supposed to be in that building anymore, we can change the code. Does that make sense? So
Yeah,
it's
it makes,
okay,
makes-
so it's probably gonna be a
makes-
few bucks.
right. I think as long as we stay below the procurement, we're okay.
Yeah, but below the $10,000?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, so Bob made a motion to accept Bayshant Builders. Do I have a second for that?
Sorry.
I don't. Did you say something, Reggie?
I second it.
He seconded it. Okay, all in favor? Reggie?
Yes.
I heard him say yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bob?
Yes.
Peter?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll go, Bayshant Builders gets the job. I'm hoping, Reggie, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fine.
I'm just not sure. All right, so that's that. All right, the second issue is, on Perry Street is the parking. So the tenant that's there has they're parking, they're supposed to be out of there by April 15th. And if they're still there on April 15th, we have to decide the neighbor. What did I say? The tenant, sorry, the neighbor. So we do have signs made up, already sign made up. And the thing is, how are we gonna get this, who's gonna put the sign into the fence or into the ground or into a spike? That's what we need to know who's gonna do it. Where is the sign? Is it here?
Right there.
Okay, so it's metal. I mean, if you want, I can attach it. I can get some kind of, pole and attach it into the ground. Are you guys okay with that? Or does somebody else-
Sure. You know, I hate to see you do all this labor. You know, is that something that that the contractor could do for us, or?
It's not on a pole, Reggie, so we're gonna have to sink it into the ground.
Oh,
sure-
I see.
It's a piece, I won't be doing it, Reggie. My husband will be doing it.
Oh, okay.
So I'm sure you can find a piece of wood or a stake that the ground should not be frozen, so we should be able to put it in
Okay.
place and get it there as soon as possible. Maybe I can get it there tomorrow. I'll take it home with me tonight. Unless somebody has a different thought.
No, I probably have a pressure treated piece of wood that we could use as well if he doesn't have something, so that's not a problem, but I just want to make sure the location of it, is as far as, is visible, and we talked about property lines there as well. I just want to make sure there's a clear distinction, that it's our property and, yeah.
Well, the only thing is we would have to pay for a survey.
Right.
I mean, do you have a picture of the,
Yeah, I have the, correct, yeah,
okay, I mean, granted, there is no measurements,
correct,
but that's the thing.
yeah. I mean, we can be very safe, you know what I mean?
Right.
As far as that's concerned, so I
Right.
just want to make sure of that. And so dig a hole, put the post in, put that there, so that's gonna block. How do you, so the parking space comes in, up against the fence there on the corner, I guess?
Right.
Okay, so you're thinking right there in the middle there, kinda,
Yeah,
okay, this is ours, and if you park here, okay,
right.
that's
Does that
fine.
make sense? You haven't been to the property yet, but that'll be. All right, so I'll take it home and I'll have my husband fiddle with it. If I have an issue, I'll call you. And I'll
Okay,
get it
sure.
up as soon as possible, hopefully tomorrow morning. That work for you, Reggie?
Works for me.
Okay.
As long as it's up 24 hours before.
Yeah, that's why I want to get it up because today's the 10th.
Yeah.
All right, then the last item on the Perry Street is the draft tenant at will agreement. I
Right.
don't know where that stands. Go ahead, Reggie.
I thought at the last meeting, we agreed that we were going to write a, sort of a letter.
Right,
What I have in front of me is really a lease.
correct.
So did we change our minds around that?
No, that's what the
No.
former chairman supplied the SRA.
Right. Because I think at the last meeting, and I thought that was probably more appropriate for us to, sort of send a letter, because we haven't really organized ourselves, and whatever we do for a lease, we want to do for everybody and not have different leases running around. So I
Correct.
still like the idea of, just giving the person a letter outlining, her responsibilities and our responsibilities.
I totally agree with you, Reggie.
Yep, absolutely.
So where do we go from here then with the letter? And putting it
Uh,
together?
I'll tell you, I'll take a stab at the first draft.
All right, beautiful. And, right, obviously you can pull some of the stuff from what Mark
Yeah.
did on there.
I'll pull some of it from there,
Yeah. I think it was basically how much she was paying, that she's still responsible for the
right,
water and the taking home her trash, and
right.
you can think of anything else, Bob, that was on there?
I'm leaving the indemnification.
Did you hear that, Reggie? Leaving the
leaving the indemnification, yes. As well as, I'm trying to think, she had her own insurance, but we have to have insurance on the building.
We do have insurance on the building.
And then she has, insurance on her business, I'm gonna assume.
Right, that would be on her.
That'd be on her. Now, the one thing that I was led to believe is that she was paying the taxes on the building.
No.
No.
Okay, all right.
She's paying the water.
She's paying the water and the
Sewer.
electricity. Yeah, she's paying the water and the sewer and her own utilities.
Yes.
Correct,
And we're paying the taxes.
correct.
Okay.
And we're in the process to see whether or not that, we're exempt, or, maybe setting up a pilot program where we, might pay a lump sum or something to that effect, but that's still in the works. Like,
Yeah.
For this year, we did pay, property taxes on the property.
Right. And that was that $6,000?
Yes, that's 6,400, I think, if I remember correctly.
6,400? Okay. All right.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I think the letter would really suffice, and I'll make sure that, that I will pass it by everybody, as a first draft, and people can add or subtract.
Okay.
Okay.
Bob, did you want to add anything else about the tax thing? Do you want to share with everybody about the taxes on that building, about the meeting?
Oh, yeah, so when I met with, the assessor's office with Mark, they had indicated to us that we should, reach out to, town council, schedule a meeting, work with them as far as, I guess we need clarification as to exactly what the property is and, are we technically exempt under the different purview of the different laws. So, we're gonna, meet with, town council, tomorrow and have a conversation and get some clarification as to which direction we need to go in. So, we'll be meeting them at 10:30 tomorrow.
Yeah.
So.
One of the things that I did over this past week was I did sort of a survey as to how many buildings that, in terms of the town, are tax exempt. And I came up, and I'm not versed on all the tax exempt buildings, but I counted, I think it was 12 buildings, including 2 churches, that were tax exempt. Pretty much in and around the downtown area. And I think, most of us know what those would be. Of course, Town Hall, the Depot, Post Office, the Recreation Center, Library, Archive Center building, the fire, the 2 fire stations,
The schools.
in the schools, yeah. So I know that, when I built that tentative budget, I added that we were going to pay the taxes, and it still works out. So whichever way it goes, because I can see there might be some pushback, in terms of us taking a revenue producing building that was paying taxes to making it a non-revenue producing building. Would be good for us, but it might not be good for the town.
Right. Yep. I agree with you. So yeah, it might be an uphill battle. But
Yeah.
again, if our status is, exempt, then there's really not too much, they can do as far as that's concerned. If it's not, then obviously we'd work with them and see if we could,
It would be good to know, just because of the, there are some possibilities that we might buy another building somewhere down the line. It'd be good to know.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, also on Perry Street, I will call Bayshore Builders tomorrow. And, find out when we're gonna get this started. Also with the renovations, we have to think beyond just that. We need to think about painting. So my thought was maybe we put something out on Facebook that we're looking for somebody to paint that inside of that building. The ceiling, I mean, the walls and then the floors, 'cause the floors are concrete. What do you guys think of that and see what kind of feedback we get? Do you think it's a good idea? Or do we seek out painters on our own?
Well,
I
I think starting off with, the Facebook is a great idea, you know, because I remember, a couple of meetings ago, Roberta, you had talked about we really didn't want to do anything until that building is
Correct.
really ready. And if we can get some takers, from Facebook or whatever other media I think it's fine as long as we stay below
Correct.
that procurement threshold.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, unless you guys know a painter you want to call, I guess.
Off the top of my head, and it's always probably best to try to see if we can get either volunteers or something cheap.
Right.
If that doesn't work out, then that's,
Right.
always plan B.
It
So,
was good to keep us local.
Right.
so, I've got no problem with that.
So you're okay with me, after I find out from Bayshant, I mean, obviously they have to be done before we can, get a painter, but I can get a feel from him when it'll be done. That way we can get the painters in right after it. Does that make sense to you guys?
Yep.
Okay, so I'll hold off posting anything until I know when it will be, when we need to have it painted.
Yep.
Okay,
With that as well as, obviously there'll need to be some electrical work as well. So
right,
that's something to keep in mind. So construction, I want to do the electrical first.
Yeah.
I'll get a feel for that, so.
we're gonna need, the little office.
Yeah.
If we want to put a mini split in there, that to make, if our intention is to move our office over there, then we would definitely need to have the heating and cooling that's separate from that big place.
Correct, yeah.
And that's not just an electrician, that's somebody else too. It's not all.
Yeah.
And we do have heat and electricity in the big part of the building. So I don't know how much electrical work we'll need there. I don't know how many outlets are there. I never really noticed.
Yeah, I just think I remember there was something up at the panel box, if I remember correctly. And again, that was probably 3 months ago. So,
No, the panel box, the issue with the panel box was that the inspector wouldn't be able to open up the panel box because of the slide door.
okay,
And when John Russell was there, he told us that.
Yeah.
When my husband and I went back the next day, my husband fixed it.
okay,
So you can access the panel door. It was just taking it off the trap and putting it back on.
okay.
So that's all it was.
Okay,
So I don't think there was anything, I mean, I don't know, how much juice do we really need to
right.
a couple of light lights?
Yeah.
I guess, I'm thinking maybe, Reggie, I don't know if you're gonna be around when we do our meeting next month, but I thought maybe we should start our meeting actually at the building.
That would be
Because
great.
you haven't been there and Peter hasn't been there.
Right.
I think we should do a little field trip. What do you think?
I was gonna suggest that we do a little tour. But
Yeah.
I'm 100%. I will be back. I'm only out of town for a week.
Oh, okay. So like, say if we start our meeting there at 6 and then we start the meeting here at 6:30.
Yeah.
And we can all just meet there. We can do a tour. I don't know if we legally have to have it filmed. I mean, if we're all gonna be there, as long as, I don't know. I don't know if we have to have it filmed.
No, I think that's an option that we were
Okay,
doing because we had a resident who was having a hard time getting here and we offered that as an option, but
yeah,
we're not required to film that.
okay, even if we're off-site.
Still has to be open to the public though.
Okay,
Right,
Yeah,
that's
that's-
okay.
so the agenda does have to say Perry Street.
Correct.
and then it's 6:30, yeah, okay, so that, you like that idea, Reggie? You like that
I'm
idea?
fine with it.
Yeah, okay,
I have
So
problems with it.
so we'll work the next, open house, I guess. All right, do you guys have anything else on Perry Street? Do you have anything else on Perry Street you want to add, Reggie?
The only thing that I have on Perry Street really has to do with the finances.
Okay. Bob, you have anything else on Perry Street that we didn't cover as of yet?
No, not at this time.
What about you, Peter? I know you knew at the game, but do you have any
No, I'm
questions on
still-
Perry?
Not yet.
Okay. All right, item 8, directors and officers insurance. It has my name with it. So I went to the insurance company where we got the insurance for the Perry Street location and with this location now that it's married together. And they looked at other people, insurers, I guess, to do our officers and directors insurance. They would also have to use Travelers, which we all already have with that Morse insurance. So I know, Reggie, you already worked on it. So, I mean, my thought is you've already worked with Morse. It's the same insurance. It's not gonna be any cheaper because it still will be with Travelers. So that's what I found out. So I don't know what you guys wanna do. We never said we had to take a vote on it, but I figured I'd put it out there for discussion. Anything, your thoughts on that, Reggie?
I'll tell you, I thought we were going with Travelers and Morse, seeing that we had gotten it.
Yes, no, I was just gonna look into it, Reggie, to see if we could find a different, more affordable policy. But this agency is also gonna have to use Travelers, so it's gonna cost the same. So we might as,
Yeah.
might as well keep it with Moss, but we figured we'd find out if we could get it somewhere else, but we can't.
And we're gonna split that cost, from what I understand, with 2 Page Street and our operations, SRA operations.
Yeah, when you do your math, yes, yeah.
Yep, okay.
So am I authorized to send the paperwork that Reggie filled out to Morse?
Yes,
Okay.
What is the premium on the policy?
I don't know.
Reggie, would you know what the premium is on the policy?
No, they're gonna, once they receive that form, they'll then notify us how much the premium is gonna be.
Do we have any
Thank you.
idea how much it was last year, I guess? Estimate?
I was just curious.
I wanna say it was a couple $1,000.
Okay.
But I'll tell you what,
Relatively
I will
low.
look it up.
I think it was $3,214.
It was something like that, exactly. But I will confirm that, and I will send it to everybody after the meeting.
Yeah, it's not cheap. Yeah, it's definitely not cheap. So, okay, all right. I don't know. All right. So anything else on the insurance? So let Donna send it over to Morse and we're good to go on that. Okay. Finance review. 2-4 Perry Street tax exemption. Bob already talked about that, about the meeting tomorrow. Let's see where that goes. Second section is the annual report, and that's you, Mr. Reggie.
Okay, the annual report is I've got all of the finances from January 1 through December 31st, 2023. I now have the Bartholomew final number for the end of the year 2023, and we got an estimate in terms of what the asset value is. So if I can just take a second and just go through that real quick.
Go ahead.
Have in the bank, even though our bank account says we have $73,000 in the account, right? 27,000 of that really belongs to 2-4 Page Street. I was able to back that number out. So what we actually have related to the SRA is $41,729 and a couple of cents that are related to our operations. In our portfolio, we have $302,827, and we estimate what Page Street is at $4,458,300 for a total in terms of cash and assets of $5,163,866. Then what I was able to do in terms of, that information, along with the bank statements, I can, when I get back, I will go down to the accountants and sit down with them so that we don't have that huge price that we had in previous years. Last year, I think it cost us $800. Previous years, it was $2,350, I believe. And I think that the review should really be more like around $800 to $1,000. And I have all the information to submit to Jennifer at the accounting office. So we're pretty much on schedule there. There was a mistake that I made on the letter that Donna had pointed out to me that Mark had signed. And in the letter, instead of me indicating 2023, it was indicated 2022. So I wasn't sure if Donna was able to correct that and get it re-signed, or what is it that we need to do, because it does need to get corrected.
I don't have a copy of the letter on the computer because it was submitted to me in hard copy form.
Yep, I'll send it to you.
Okay, so who will sign it now?
Roberta would sign it now.
Roberta.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, what I'll do is I'll send it to you as well, Roberta,
Okay,
so that you can see what I wrote. It's a little longer than 2022, but and that's because, we purchased 2-4 Page Street, so I needed to be able to include that.
okay. So when will you get that letter out?
I will get that letter out no later than, if I can pull it up, in terms of my reception. I've got my computer with me. I can send that out either tonight or tomorrow.
That'd be great, because that way we can just do it and sign it and get it out.
Yeah,
The letter can't go on until his report is done.
right. So
Okay.
we're in good shape.
All right.
Like I said, Executive Office of Economic Development, I'm not even sure they read our reports because they get them in from all over the state. But we're in good shape as long as we get it in before the end of the fiscal year.
Okay. Anything else on that, Reggie, on the annual report? You're done with that?
I'm done with the annual report. Yes.
Okey doke. Legal bills, invoice 489. Whatever number 489 is.
That was the invoice, that Bob's been following up with Harrington about.
Okay. Bob, do you want to tell them what we got going on with that now?
So, we finally, scheduled a meeting tomorrow, I believe with Tom at 11:30. And, we'll just review the questions that we have on invoice, 489, what was included in the closing costs, what was outside of the closing costs, and just, get some clarifications. So hopefully, we'll be able to wrap that one up, going forward.
Right. Peter, just so you know, we purchased the property at 24 Perry, and I wanted all the fees in our settlement sheet. So we had 2,500, I think, in attorney legal fees. But then we got separate bills for legal fees. So I said, well, what do we pay $2,500?
Right.
So it's just been kind of chasing to find out what do we pay $2,500 for if we're paying this on top of
This
it?
should have been.
It should have been part of it, so are we paying for it twice?
You will be,
You know, so that's why we're having this conversation.
Sure.
With this man tomorrow, and a lot of it, I had discussed a lot of stuff with him during the proposal, so that's why I'm kind of involved and Bob was doing the money, so hopefully we will straighten that out tomorrow.
Is this a law firm that you just use strictly for the closing?
No, we're using him also for other things. And they really weren't real estate attorneys.
No, yeah.
Yeah,
No, actually, in the closing costs, they're wrapping two different things here, but if it was related to the sale, the closing, it should be all in that closing.
yes, I wanted it all on the same thing, so 20 years from now, people could say, okay, this is everything that they paid for that building.
So here's an example here, is that he's charging you for the FedEx. That's also charged up your settlement sheet.
Okay.
So there's so yeah, I would definitely talk to people.
Yeah.
And some of the invoices were labeled general, and I went back to them, and said, could you break that down, because general, I mean, we had
Yeah.
activities from two different,
Two different
legal
projects,
entities
yeah.
on the same invoice.
It makes it hard to break. it.
Right,
Exactly.
exactly, yeah. All right, so that's tomorrow. Okay, BSC invoices, money due on project.
That was just,
Oh,
those
you're
are the
being renewed.
invoices that Reggie sent out to everyone,
Yeah,
showing where we are to date. Do you have anything to add, Reggie?
You know, when you take a look at the budget, you will actually see that, and I have to confirm this with Jeff, but we owe less than what I projected. Because the MIPA application, they finished 50% of the MIPA application, and I had them down at 0%. So I had them in for a total of $16,000. And then we had the amendment, which was $15,200. You know, so it comes in really at around, instead of being 31,000 and some change, it's about 27,000 that I think that we owe. You know, so I think that we're in pretty good shape there. I don't know if they have done any additional work at this point, but I do have everything that they have submitted for payment, and they indicated that they are all paid up, with the exception of the amendments. They're still asking us to sign the amendment, because I don't think we've signed the actual amendment for the 15,200 for the additional work that we asked them to do. The last communique that I have with them is they wanted to use the balance of the MIPA application to fund some of the things that they, you know, that was on the amendment, you know. And I think that gets a little bit confusing, other than if we agreed that the work needs to get done, we have the money to pay them. So we're not, you know, it's not like we got to borrow from Peter, not you, Peter, but to pay Paul. You know, it's just a matter of us being able to sign the amendment if we're in agreement with it.
do you want to say something, Bob? Because I have something to say.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get clarification on that, Reggie, because I know, you know, in order to, was it 2 meetings ago? I think in order to get it through the finish line, after we asked them to do the rework, after we met with them and they came back and said, we need these, you know, 6 or 8 things. They came back and said, in order for us to do this, we need a specific dollar amount. And I think that night we voted to approve those funds.
Right.
So, okay, so we're good there. And so what you're saying is the other project, they haven't utilized all of those funds. So we still have, I guess, money in the bank or, money towards that project.
Yeah, we got 8,000. The original budget was $16,000 for the MEPA application,
Okay,
and they have completed 50% of that,
okay,
and they've been paid $8,000. And what they were saying is they would like to be able to transfer those MEPA dollars to this new project. And I think that we voted to go ahead and sort of move the project along. And once you start transferring monies around, it starts to get a little bit confusing. We have the dollars in our account to pay them, without trying to transfer dollars and then having documentation saying that we transferred it, then we transferred it back, and things of that nature.
All right, I just need some clarification. This MEPA application, what is that?
It's sort of like the environmental piece, and it takes place after the select board actually approves the application.
All right, so this,
and then it goes into the state for their approval.
all right, so this is where I'm going with this. When it was brought forward to pay for this, at the time, Mark had said we needed money for Jeff to show up. I'm making up things.
Yep.
At A, B, and C. And he needed X amount of dollars. And then he also wanted X amount of dollars for this, I thought it was MEPA application. Now, you know that I'm not for this renewal plan, but I'm like, get it over the finish line. So
Yep.
we voted only for Jeff to show up at those 3 meetings. We did not vote for any MEPA application, because why the heck are we gonna pay to have something made up if it does not pass the select board? Why would we throw $16,000 away? Why did this man start it? Because I didn't vote to pay for it, and we didn't even put it on the table. We only voted to pay for those meetings for Jeff. So why is he doing
Right.
this? This is
I
what
think that
now I'm at.
I think the MEPA application was part of the original contract.
Then why were we gonna be taking a separate vote to pay for the MEPA application?
Oh, I don't think we need a vote to pay for the MEPA application. I think we need to vote for the amendment if we haven't already done that. And that's the $15,200. And that's to get us over the finish line.
But you understand what I'm saying? Why would we pay for a MEPA application if the select board says no to this? Why are we paying for something that may not ever need to be done?
It's a good question. I wasn't around for.
Be optimistic.
I wasn't around for that portion of it, but it's a good question, and I can ask Jeff, where, why, and how that all happened.
So I was sitting right there when we did this, and I'm gonna look up the minutes or whatever, because if he was given the okay to do, he's already done half of it.
I believe this was just after, Mr. Linwell got sick, because Mr. Linwell was originally going to, complete the MEPA application himself. And then he got ill, and that's about the time the SRA voted, to pay BSC to do the MEPA. So
No, I don't think that's accurate.
Okay.
Part of it's accurate. I think that you're right. Forrest had suggested that he would do it. And I think the board basically said that's not a good idea, and that it needed to be part of the contract. Roberta's also correct, when it says that if we needed a vote to move that application, I don't recall, but I wasn't around for a while. So, but I don't recall reading in any minutes that anyone approved moving the MEPA application.
Yeah, I'll be here a year in April, and that's the first I've heard of that. So,
Yeah.
I do, we did do the 15-2 to, like I said, after they came back and wanted the changes. So, in order to get it, like we said, to get it through the finish line, we did approve it that 2 meetings ago, I believe. But yeah,
The other thing wasn't all that long ago, because I said, okay, because they thought at the time, we have to have another meet. They had already met with the planning board. So it was after Reggie met with the planning board,
Yeah.
that this came up to do, okay, Mark says, I need money, I need to have Jeff there for the selectmen, I need to have him for another something, and I'm like, fine. And then the MIPA money was separate. I said, I'm not going, and we didn't even bring it to a vote. So
Right.
this is why I'm bothered that this man is doing something that you guys may think is, I don't know, but I wouldn't pay for something. I'm not gonna buy the prom dress until I'm asked to the prom.
Right.
So why am I paying for this application when we don't know so I'm just not happy with where this is going. But anyways, I don't think we need to take a vote on anything because,
No, there's no vote on that.
yeah,
We need to know for ourselves the additional work that needed to get done, which was on that amendment.
yeah.
But not on the MIPA. The MIPA is, like you say, if it's not approved, then
Why does he have it halfway done?
Right.
exactly.
So he spent $8,000 of money that was supposed to go elsewhere on a sweeper application.
Well, the 16,000 was allocated to the MIPA application, but there's the question at hand really is why did he move forward with it?
Correct.
And why did we pay it? Sometime we have the record, when it was paid, but why did we pay it?
That means stumped.
Yep.
All right, anybody else got anything else on, the DSC invoices? I don't think so, anyone? Okay, action items list. I don't know, did we have a clean slate, Donna, on our action item list last month or not? Oh, it's pretty full.
I did everything on mine and, Bob, Desmond did get me the, bank statement that I needed for my record, so, that has been updated. So I am all set on my items.
Okay, I have, yep, we don't have to worry about that one, even though it's done. And the liability, we're keeping it where it's at. Reggie, you started the Morse application, he did that. And he preparing that annual report.
Right.
Mark, okay, I guess it's irrelevant, the forms. Okay, and then the closing costs, Bob did. The tax bill is tomorrow also, the invoice is tomorrow. Did you send on the bank statement, Bob?
He did, yes.
I did. I did.
And then we got Deschamps Building, and so I think we got everything done on the list.
Wow.
Anybody have
That's a-
anything?
That's a first.
Yeah,
So I don't know if this is the time to bring it up.
Go ahead.
So I think, with the new board, and Reggie, this, more in your lane, we should probably meet at Abington and get everything squared away there. So, right now I think it's me, and maybe we should make it you, or just, something to put on the radar.
Yeah. Sure.
To, and
Peter will have to get signature.
yeah, and I think we'll have to take, Mark off and put you on or something to that effect, so.
But I'm not going to sign. We all
Okay.
can sign.
Okay,
We just have to take him off, put Peter on.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I mean, I'm a retired guy, so and I know Bob, you're pretty busy, so I'll adjust my schedule to yours, to make it that much more convenient.
Okay, I appreciate it. Yeah, you just, tell me what you need and, we'll go from there and,
Yeah.
yeah, just,
I think we just need to show up at the bank. That's it.
Yeah, I think you're right. And, get
Yeah.
your name on there and, you know, anything that we need to do just to get it squared away would be good.
Okay. Now, one thing I did want to bring up, and it was around 2-4 Perry Street, is I really do think that we should consider at some time in the not too distant future of having Page Street having its own account, banking account, because it is a little bit difficult to try to discern, in terms of legal fees, who's paying for what. It's all coming out of one account at this point. I was able to back out the dollars so we know what is ours and what is 2-4s. But to make it that much easier in the future, I think that we need to have its own accountant and try not to commingle these funds together.
So what, do you think it's a good idea when we do the bank, we do open a new account at the same time and transfer that 27,000 or whatever it is right into it? So when we pay, give a deposit to Bayshant,
Yep.
Yep.
However we work it and have that cushion in there and we'll know. Does
Yep.
that work for you? It makes sense to me.
Yeah, and then she
It makes
can,
it.
yep, and she could, deposit the rent in there as well. And,
Right.
yeah, whatever's gonna make your life easier, let's do that.
That is clearly going to make it a whole lot easier, and it'll be, at the end of the year, we
Absolutely.
won't have to do a whole lot of explaining to the accountants of, well, you got these dollars, you're saying, that these dollars belong to somebody else, but it's in this particular account.
Yeah.
Right, because
It's a whole lot easier.
yeah, because we're gonna be having, as of now, still taxes. We do have a
That's
light
right.
there. We will end up having an internet bill there. And like you say, we can 50/50
That's
Yeah.
right.
Reggie and 50/50 the other insurance and,
Yep.
oh no, I like the idea of having a separate account for
Yeah.
every property.
Yeah.
This is the way, I'm glad you mentioned it. Reggie.
Because we can do that as soon as, when we go up to the bank, I'm available next week. I'll be back on Sunday. So Bob, whenever you're available, that 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock works for me, if it works for you. So
Yeah, that's usually works well.
What about you?
Tuesday, would that work? I'm around.
Not Tuesday, either Thursday or Friday.
Friday.
Would
Yeah.
Friday be you?
I think so. I'm afraid to look at my phone and see because I don't want to get disconnected. But I can confirm either Thursday or Friday of next week.
Okay.
So you're saying Friday at 1?
Yeah, I'm available all day, so.
Okay, who said 1 o'clock? Was 1 o'clock good time for you, Reggie?
I think so. But let me first, I got to take a look at my schedule. And like I said, I don't want to try to look at my schedule, with my phone because I'm afraid that I'll get disconnected if I hit the wrong button or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I can confirm right after the meeting.
Okay, sounds good. Before, yeah, we got to, all right, so one thing else I was thinking too, Reggie, not just saying it to Reggie, but whatever, all of us. I think we need to have a system where we know when, like January, the taxes are due, if we're paying taxes. On February, let's just say our homeowners policy is due.
Right.
In March, the water bill's due. I think we need to have a list of every month when, like these insurance things are due, when this thing that you give out to this person in tax time is due. And we need to have not just, okay, well, who has this policy? Who's your contact? I contact Ian Smith at ABC Insurance. It's the policy for this. This is when it's due. This is their address. I like the idea of knowing because when we're not here, the next person can look at a calendar or we can look at a calendar and say, okay, next month, the taxes are due. Who's going to pay the taxes?
Right.
Are you guys all on the same page with
Oh, yeah,
having
absolutely,
some
absolutely.
type of schedule?
At the bare minimum, should be a spreadsheet with all that on.
Right.
Yeah.
So I kind of started writing certain things like, I don't know if that's something Donna would that be something that you would get started, Donna? Like I mean, I know when the taxes are due in the town and when the water bills are due in the town. And I know that this insurance thing is due May 23rd, I think, this travel's insurance. And how many days, I wrote that down. The other one I just didn't look up, but I mean, all right, so everybody agrees with it.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, we're moving into a new era, so we're gonna have things a little more organized.
Okay,
But if you could send me that information, like when the taxes are due, water and sewer, I can begin to put those reminders or spreadsheet together.
yeah, and that liability insurance, the one that
Yeah.
we're gonna split Reggie 50/50. It
Yep.
was $6,730 for that one. And then the one with Morse is $3,214. So you're talking $10,000 here, just.
Oh, yeah, easy,
So that's,
You know?
$1,000 a month. Just for insurance.
that's right. And typically we had not paid, on a monthly basis. Once we got the bill, we just wrote the check.
But I'm just saying, when you figure it out, you need to come
Yeah.
up with $1,000 to pay it. No, I
That's
like
right.
it down too. It's easier.
Can the travelers be put in the mail? I mean,
Yeah.
I know it's time sensitive, so,
But it's not till not due to May 23rd.
well,
So-
no, well, right, but this is just to get it to,
Yeah.
Morris, but then travelers has to send that.
Okay, yeah, I would just throw it in the mail.
Okay,
Right, guys? Just have it.
Yeah.
Before
Yeah.
Yeah,
Monday.
I think they based the policy on, on our assets.
Okay.
And that's why they want that information in advance.
okay.
Okay, can anybody, before we ask about does anybody want something specific on next month's agenda? Besides having the field trip over to 2-4 Perry at 6 o'clock and then starting it here, does anybody want something put on the agenda to start?
I don't know if it's on the agenda, but I think that we need to have a discussion, in terms of what, for 2024, what our goals and objectives are. I mean, we kind of, we got to focus in on, Page Street. We got to kind of focus on Perry Street. There are a number of things that we got in the works. I'm not sure if we have the capacity to do anything new, but I think that we need to have a discussion about how do we get to the end zone on the three things that are confronting us right now.
Exactly. Yep. Any of you guys have any thoughts? Anything you need to put on the agenda? Besides the standard stuff?
Yeah, no, I mean,
Yeah.
we have the two, the updates from the two meetings that we'll have, and, but yeah, nothing specific.
Anything for you,
No.
you guy? Okay. I just figured I'd put it out. I mean, you can always have to call Donna and have her, you know that. I'm just putting it out there if you have
Sure.
requests. I mean, anything
Yep.
on the agenda. So, all right, number 11 is the executive session minutes for March 25, 24 that need to be approved in open session. Does anybody want to make a motion on that?
I motion to approve.
Second,
All in favor by roll call, Reggie,
Yes.
Bob,
yes.
Yes.
and I approve too. Okay, Reggie, we are going to have an executive session for about 5 minutes.
Okay.
So you're gonna have to look at your phone and.
Yeah.
And then, call
Yeah,
back. Let's-
I'll click on, because Donna did send me the
Yeah.
extra link.
Yeah,
So
so
I will do that.
she's gonna have to click off, so, 5 minutes.
Okay.
We should be active. Okay,
right.
thanks.
You
I
can
think,
make- you can make a
we're going
motion.
to,
Motion.
yeah, we're going to, make a motion to leave this, to go into, we won't come back into,
Motion so made.
Second.
Reggie,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Yes.
and I vote yes. Thank you, Donna, for saying that. Okay, thanks all for joining us,
All righty.
and we'll see you next month.